I'm Leon Todd for G66. Welcome to another Tuesday Tone Tip. On today's video, I want to walk you through the preset that I'm using live at Edinburgh Fringe with Club Kabarett. This is on a non-turbo version of the FM9 as well. And you can see while there are plenty of blocks loaded in here to cover a range of different sounds, the CPU's hovering around 63% on there. So if I did want to add anything to this over the course of this season, it is relatively trivial to do that, but I stay on the single preset for the whole show. And I have a couple of essential sounds as well as some special effects sounds that I need to use during the show. So it's a combination circus, cabaret, live rock band. The band is up the whole time. The MC sings lead vocals. There's circus performers. There's interactions with the audience. And there is a lot of underscoring and improvisation in the show as well. So it makes it incredibly fun to play. It also means that I get to use a lot of the great features in the FM9 on here. So the core tones that I use revolve around the Brit 800 amp models. I've got the Brit 800 mod for my main dirty sound. I have paired it up as usual with my free Cab IR, which you can grab in the video description. I have a little bit of the large room reverb for just a bit of ambience on there and some dual detune to add to the stereo image. The live band is just a trio, so having that detune at the end of the chain just kind of gives the sound a little bit of extra width and girth on there. Let's just have a listen to the core tone. I should also mention that I've currently got the CAD block high cut at 5500 Hertz. That is something that I change during the production rehearsals. Basically, that is a set and forget parameter. I'll normally start with it around 6500 Hertz. I might have to turn it up. I might have to turn it down depending on the venue and how all the other instruments are sitting in the mix. What I like doing is having this mapped over to the Perform tab on there so that I can just lean down on the unit, press page right from my scenes view, and I can instantly access that cab high cut. That's just a discussion you need to have with the sound engineer there at the start of a gig, or in this case, the start of a run of shows. And it is so easy to tweak. I basically just say, hey, do you need my guitar brighter or darker? And that's the way that I manage that. I've got a fractal EV1 pedal connected to that, which in this scene is attached to the Crybaby wah. One fun trick in here that lets me use a single expression pedal for wah or volume is that if we right-click the control parameter, you can see that I have set up this expression pedal to control the wah only when the wah is on channel A. You notice this volume block over here. On the volume parameter, I've got this set up so that the expression pedal only controls the volume pedal when the volume pedal is on channel B. So you can see at the moment in this scene where I need to use the wah, I have the wah on channel A, so it's listening to the expression pedal, but the volume pedal is also on channel A, so it's not listening to the expression pedal on there. That way I just get the wah tone. Now, we'll have a listen to some volume swells later on in the piece, but just keep that in mind. The other main tone that I need is a combination of spring reverb. I'm using the tube spring into the bias tremolo, basically at the stock settings on there. I'm using the Brit 800 2203 low amp model on there, just treating it as though I could switch between these two amplifiers on there like a 2-channel amp. I love this sound on here. It's so drippy and wet and fun to play with, especially for some of the underscoring moments and some of the funnier moments in the show. That tone is simultaneously nostalgic and timeless. I really, really enjoy that combination of spring reverb and trem. The other main sound that I need is essentially to have a big, lush ambient sound. There's no keyboard player in the show, and there's quite a few ballads in there, so being able to create these lovely ambient washy pads with the volume pedal, which we were talking about earlier, is really important. So same settings on that Brit 800 2203 low. I have added the Aurora delay at the stock settings on here. These are also the settings that I use for my lead sound, which we will hear a little bit later. And I've got the Stratocumulus reverb. You can see mix is at 50%. I've set the level to 3 dB, so it's going to maintain unity gain at those settings. I've just turned the input gain down a little bit. So essentially, I have a really lovely wet delay that's got some diffusion that's feeding a massive reverb on there. And when I play some volume swells with this volume pedal that is now on channel B, remember the volume is only listening to my expression pedal when it is on channel B. The wah's on channel B over here, so it's not listening to the expression pedal. So I'm just going to get the volume swells on here. This in the venue at really high volumes is just so beautiful to listen to. Make sure you're listening in stereo to this one. I mean, life is too short not to listen in stereo anyway, right? Absolutely gorgeous. And then scene 8 I have set up with the exact same settings, just with the fuzz face on there. In the pre-show, there's a band jam, and I like to do my terrible Eric Johnson impression on there, and having the fuzz face in front of that clean channel of the 800, you know, it gets close enough for what I want to do, and it is so enjoyable to play with all that fuzz, sustain, delay, and reverb on there. Let's take a look at the lead scene on here. It's using the same Brit 800 mod settings as the rhythm scene. I've just added the Valve Screamer VS9, so a tube screamer for extra gain on there. And again, it's just got the Aurora delay at the stock settings over there. In the output 1 block, scene levels, I have turned up my scene 2 level over here. So this is going to give me a 4 dB volume boost at the moment. And one really fun trick that I like is going to the Perform tab over here and taking this scene 2 level and moving it over onto the Perform tab. This way at sound check, if I need to turn my solo level down or turn it up, I've got instant access to it on the Perform tab. I also keep the overall amp level, the pitch block bypass, and the global output mode on there, so that at a sound check, let's say for some reason I can't run stereo and I suddenly have to run mono, I can disable that pitch detune, which only really works best in stereo, take the global mode to some left and right. I can play around with the overall reverb, multi-tap delay mix, and where the cab high cut is over here. So basically my rhythm sound with a tube screamer in front of it, a delay after the amp and cab, and a bit of a volume boost over there gives me this. The last thing that I use quite a lot in the show is, again, my rhythm sound, the Brit 800 mod, but I've just got the deluxe Mind Guy delay set to a dotted 8th note in front of it. There is some modulation happening on there, which makes it sound really nice and washy and crusty. Feedback is at 20%, mix is 36% on there. I just use this for particular rhythmic delay parts over there, and I have my bottom right foot switch on the FM9 assigned so that when I tap it, I've got the tap tempo, and when I press and hold it, I get the tuner. We get this. Aside from that, I just have two extra scenes in here that I actually rarely use. I've got the 5153 100 watt stealth red amp model dialed in for a big, chunky, modern high gain sound. That's just if the moment strikes and I want to take that Brit 800 tone to the next level and really, really beef up a riff, I'll use that. And then on scene 7, I just have the clean sound. So it's that Brit 800 2203 low, no reverb, no tremolo, no multi-delay or anything like that on there. That again is just if I'm having to do some underscoring or jamming to fill up some space and I just want a pristine clean sound, I can use that. So let's have a listen to the clean and then that 5153 stealth. I really hope you enjoyed this video and the tones. Furthermore, I really hope you get some ideas from this to enhance and improve your own presets, both from a tonal perspective and from a functionality perspective. This single preset covers so much ground for me in a live setting, and it really is a joy to be able to play through the FM9 with these tones every night. I will see you all on next week's Tuesday Tone Tip. Go and play your guitars and have some fun.